Dexter Lumis is a tortured soul.
What up, Hawks?
Guys, you know what time it is, our NXT review and reaction. Let's get right into it. NXT started off with a tag team match that had big women's tag team titles implications to see who was going to face the way eventually of Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. The match was Dakota Kai and your NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez taking on our girls, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. All right, so we've seen this match before. Obviously, remember Shotzi and Ember took the titles off Kai and Gonzalez the day they debuted the title, so you know what you were going to get. It was a very, very good matchup between the two. Now, I was kind of surprised they didn't push the whole like breakup between Kai and Gonzalez here. That seemed like where it's headed in the end, but they didn't want to pull the trigger and kind of tease it for now. Whatever. In the end, Moon, Blackheart get the win, so it looks like they'll get a shot at those tag team titles sooner rather than later, probably at NXT TakeOver in your house. They could do a triple tag team type of thing if there's no real, challenge to Raquel Gonzalez for that pay-per-view for the women's title. As of right now, doesn't seem like there really is one. So they could do that, and then after the match, Raquel Gonzalez, a monster, destroys Shotzi Blackheart completely, so that calls into question if she'll be ready for a tag team title match eventually down the line. So So, I mean, it's a solid way to start off the show.
Yeah, great way to start off the show. Just showing the depth that the women's tag team division has in NXT. We have 3 tag teams, so there's just 2 like on Raw. And they're all intriguing. They're all something fun to look forward to. Any match, really. But I'm not really all that excited for a 3-team tag team match. That sounds like a kind of a shit show to me. But we'll see. Maybe they change my mind and they'll figure something out. But yeah, I'm excited for it. We have something to look forward to in a tag team match, which I'm excited about. And it's a rematch. I think that's what the way it should be. I think Shotzi and Ember Moon need to get that rematch and kind of up in there. I still don't think it's time to take the belts off the way. I just don't know. I mean, we'll see what Indy Hartwell's up with Dexter Lumis, but definitely a good way to start the show.
Yeah, speaking of that, so Indy Hartwell is searching for Dexter Lumis, and she runs into Drake Maverick. Jake Maverick says, I last saw him a couple hours ago in that room back there. She goes in that room that is dark, the lights turn on, and there's like a million drawings on the wall of his heart being broken, stabbed in the heart, and Indy gets the gist of it that, he thinks she stabbed him in the heart and she's upset by this, and she goes to chase him off. We'll see how this ends up playing out. I mean, hopefully they have like an NXT wedding or something. Indy Hartwell might be kind of interesting if they pull that one off. But we'll see what happens going forward with that. But the next thing on the show, Bobby Fish versus Pete Dunne. Now, I think they jumped the gun a little bit on this match to have it like so quickly. I think he should have took on Lorcan first in the singles and then maybe jumped over to Pete Dunne. But we got this match, and Bobby Fish really held his own in the ring. You know Bobby Fish as a tag team wrestler for the most part in his time in NXT, so it's good to see him in a singles match. He kept up with Dunne, pushed Dunne to the limit for the most part. He loses this match. Now you could say, oh, it's his first match back. How could you have him lose? He's taking on Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is a contender for the NXT Championship, so you can't have him lose to Bobby Fish like that. But he gets the rub, Bobby Fish does, off of Pete Dunne for competing so well against him in this match.
Yeah, it was a win-win because basically Bobby Fish, like you said, just got the rub off him. Yeah. It's his first match back. He went toe-to-toe. He looked great. It was the first time where I don't remember the last time he was in a singles match, so this was like a great time to see him in a singles match against a great guy like Pete Dunne. And let's face it, Pete Dunne is literally in a title picture. He's in a number one contendership match that we see later on be created by William Regal. Yeah. So, it was kind of just to make sure, hey, he lost to somebody that's in a number one contendership match. So he's a big deal. He just lost to him, just barely, just by an inch. And that was a crazy move Birch had him in with like that, just pushing his arm down on the apron. And I think it was nuts. But, Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne. He's a top guy. It is what it is.
Yeah, now I want to find out where the hell was Kyle O'Reilly while Bobby Fish was getting his arm stuck in that thing by Oney Lorcan. That's what I'm trying to find out.
You remember, like, Kyle O'Reilly wants to be a loner. He's not
but that
friends anymore. It kind of is what it is.
That's still his dude right there. I don't know, whatever. But that happened. So he got
like I probably would have helped you if it.
I guess. I mean, if that's the way you want to play. But that's what happened here, and then we'll see where this goes forward because Pete Dunne has a big match coming up next week. Now, next thing on the show is Mercedes Martinez. The first time you've seen her since she lost to Raquel Gonzalez. She's taking on Zeta Ramirez, who's an upstart in the women's division in NXT. And Ramirez gets a lot in here, but it's just it's just whatever match. Mercedes Martinez gets the win, right? And then after she wins the match, Mercedes Martinez, the lights go out and there's a bunch of smoke in the ring. Then it all disappears and her music starts playing again. And she has a marking from Tian Shi, who's obviously with Xia Li, and it's a marking on her hand, like right here. So like a black marking. So she gets that, and that means Tian Shi has kind of like marked her for, I guess, deletion for lack of a better word.
Yeah, the marking stuff, it's definitely something interesting. It's just, we've seen, of course, with Taker and Wyatt, all these supernatural things. So there's NXT's version of that. I'm still not all with that Xia Li stuff or whatever they're calling themselves. It's not really vibing for me, but maybe moving forward they'll get me. But right now they haven't hooked me. It's not that fun to me.
Yeah, it's not all that great right now because they've been so like stop and go with it, right? Like they show up for a little bit and they leave, and now they've been gone for such a decent amount of time. So it's kind of lost its luster. But we'll see what happens if it maybe hypens back up when Mercedes Martinez now involved with them. We'll see what happens with that. The next thing on the show, Cameron Grimes comes out and he's having moment with Ted Dibiase, like $1 million moment.
$1 million face off.
Yeah, $1 million face off. Ted Dibiase comes out. It's great to see him, obviously. Great to hear his music. And he comes out and he's talking to Cameron Grimes. He kind of tones down the character a little bit to speak to Dibiase, saying, why are you doing this to me? You're my idol, whatever, all this stuff like that. I wasn't always rich and all this. And then Ted DiBiase goes on to say that, he likes Cameron Grimes a lot and he's looking for somebody to kind of carry the mantle of the $1 Million Man, the legacy. And yeah, he says that, I really liked you, but since you got all your money, you kind of lost your edge in the ring. And then my boy LA Knight comes out and he talks a bunch of trash. Obviously, he's LA Knight. He comes out saying that he should be the guy that Ted DiBiase picks. Cameron Grimes not too happy with it. They get into it a little bit, and then LA Knight does drop Cameron Grimes to the mat. And
so Ted, as I was trying.
And it seems like Ted DiBiase's leaning or picking LA Knight as like his successor. I do hope they bring back the $1 Million belt and have it a little run with that in NXT, with either between LA Knight and Cameron Grimes, maybe a takeover in your house. That'd be a pretty cool thing. But that was a funny, solid segment, over the top, but that's what you expect.
Yeah, I dug it. I enjoyed it. It's something Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. That's a great little feud, especially when they're who is Mr. the Million Man gonna pick? Like they're fighting for his services basically. So it's definitely like an easy something to throw these guys that haven't really been in a major feud yet or something interesting recently. So it's just this easy feud to put it together. I like the fact that LA Knight came out just talking all that trash and did some crazy stuff, and he looks like $1 million. So you might as well be with the Million Man. So it rewrites itself. And this is LA Knight's first big time feud. So let's see if he comes through.
Yeah, let's see how he comes through. I assume this will take place in your house, like I said. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Next thing on the show is Franky Monet's first match in NXT. She's taking on Cora Jade. It's just a squash match, but if you look at the match for what it was, you see how powerful she looks, how strong she looks. La Huera Loca comes out, so you see the craziness in her and all that stuff like that play up. So that's a good thing. I mean, we'll see how she turns out. It's pretty much just Taya Valkyrie with a new name. That's what it is. And, she's La Huera Loca. So she said that like 5 times during the match. She was yelling a lot crazy. So we'll see that develop. And I think she could definitely be a mega star in the NXT Women's Division and obviously become NXT champion eventually.
I mean, honestly, I think she can, if they book her right, within a month or two, be NXT Women's, number 1 contender match. Because, that's basically what this build looks like. Her showing up, it feels like a really big deal.
Yeah.
And they're pushing her that way. So I think they're going to give her the rocket ship here and kind of streamline her to being in the NXT Women's Championship picture pretty quick. I think probably right after In Your House, I would say, just because there really isn't anybody else in the women's division that's at the level to take on Raquel. So let's see what happens. But mark this the day that I booked this. I booked that shit, and it's happening in I would say 2 months. Give me 2 months.
Yeah, I could totally agree with that. I totally see that going down because it really is, like you said, nobody at the level right now that looks like they can just take on Raquel Gonzalez and jump up to that top spot. All right, so the next thing on the show is Benson Reed comes out. He's celebrating his championship, talking about all the stuff that went down, how happy he is, all that good stuff. He gets interrupted by Legado Fantasma. Santos Escobar is the next challenger for this belt. And then you have, they try to attack Bronson Reed in the ring, and then here comes MSK for the help, and they, so eventually we'll probably get a 6-man tag or something like that. But yeah, Santos Escobar is stepping up to the challenge of Bronson Reed to try to take that North American Championship. So he used Cruiserweight Championship, his run there, as a stepping stone to get to this mid-card belt.
Yeah, just, easy progression of his character and just growing, and he did a great job as Cruiserweight champion and really just grew and became a major big deal. I mean, think about what the Cruiserweight Championship was like a year and a half ago to what it became with him. It makes sense to put him in the North American picture, and don't be surprised if this is a short run for Bronson Reed because I mean, let's face it. I mean, who would you rather see as North American champion? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that you pick a guy to be his first challenger who kind of outstars him, if that's even a word.
Yes,
Like, he's just outstar him.
Outshines him, yeah.
Outshines is a better word. Yeah, you just see Santos Escobar. He's enigmatic. He's like magnetic. He has a personality to him. It comes off well on screen. And
it's money.
Yeah,
it's money.
Yeah,
money.
Yeah, he is money big time. So we'll see what happens. I mean, that's another match probably take place at Takeover. We'll see that happen, or maybe 6-man tag. But next week we do have MSK taking on, I believe it's Legado Fantasma for the NXT Tag Team Championships next week. Then here we have the championship match to finish out the night. And beforehand, William Regal says whoever wins this match will face one of these three men who will have a triple threat match to be the number one contender next week. Those three men are Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano. Whoever wins that will face the champion, whoever wins this match, at NXT TakeOver in your house. So you got three massive names right there coming in to see who's going to face the champion. So then we get to the championship match, and it's the second match. It's Balor 2. Big fight feel, big hype, and it lived up to it. I thought it was really well done. It was a lot better than their first match.
Yeah, so much better.
And it's physical. It's really, really good stuff, because Finn is believable in the offense that he's getting off on Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross such a monster. The intensity, all that stuff like that. In the end, but Karrion Kross is able to choke Finn Balor out.
His face turning red. Finn Balor going to sleep. Kross stitching in, squeezing. Referee, no choice.
Cause a referee stoppage and retain the NXT Championship. But it's a really good way to get to the next challenger and put a match together and get that second match, because the first one was kind of disappointing. They got to get this match and make it right. But we'll see what Finn goes from here. I would like to see Finn drop down to the North American level for a little bit and maybe win that title, or have a run with it like in a feud, and then kind of maybe eventually go back up or something like that.
This was the perfect way, because let's face it, the first match, Karrion Kross didn't come off that great. The matches didn't come off that great. It wasn't the hottest start to his championship run, to his second-time championship run. But this was the perfect match to put a stamp on it and say, this guy's a monster, this guy's a beast. He put him to sleep. He didn't have to pin him. He just completely knocked him out, which still keeps Finn strong. It doesn't, he didn't go on the mat 1, 2, 3. He didn't submit. He just passed out. He didn't give up. He passed out. That's it. Called it a day. That Karrion Kross too strong, too big, too powerful. It was what it was. I'm excited to see Karrion Kross move into the next feud. I would love him versus Pete Dunne just to get it going. But I feel Kyle O'Reilly is the natural progression. I think that's where they're going to go with it. I think they have a similar match to Finn Balor, because those styles are so similar. But yeah, I think Finn is going up. I think like you're in your news video yesterday. Vince needs a roster change, needs more people on Raw, and Finn's a guy that, is probably going to get lost in the shuffle like last time. Hopefully not. But yeah, I don't see any more that Finn can do in NXT. I just don't see it. I think he has to go up to the roster, prove his point on Raw, be the star that we all know that he can be, that he's been on NXT. He was for that short night in SummerSlam, where since then, it just fell off after his injury. So hopefully Finn gets on Raw roster after this and becomes a big deal. A big freaking deal.
Yeah, I would like him to kind of stay in NXT and drop down mid-card. But I guess, I could see that happening. Vince McMahon does, the rumor is, like I said, it is the rumor that he wants to call up people. I could see a heel Finn going up might be better than the Finn previously. If they just let him do what he's doing in NXT on the main roster, I think it'll be very, very good. But we'll see if that comes to fruition, and we'll see who wins the triple threat match next week to face Karrion Kross at In Your House TakeOver. But
we'll see.
Yeah, but guys, that's the review of NXT. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember to drop a like on this video, hit the chair in the corner before it hits you first, and sub to this channel. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for 7:30 p.m. The wrestling news and rumors. No Dynamite tomorrow because it's a Friday night Dynamite. And that's pretty much it. And remember, I still got something in the works for you guys. Stay tuned. Dropping a really hot banger video for you guys. So make sure you tune in for that one. And if it doesn't work, brother, not to the job.
Let's go next. Later, Mark.